Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video we got another game review recap to discuss. We're discussing the games that happened over the weekend, including the Winter Classic that happened yesterday, and we're looking ahead to the games that are happening on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll go to all of that coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Internet Talk channel. Before we end this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. We have hit 200 subscribers. Thank you for all of your support. I would never been able to do it without you guys, so don't forget to continue to subscribe so we can hit 250 subscribers. Now, as usual, I'm going to do another game review recap to discuss here today. Had a very interesting slate of games over the weekend. 9 games on Saturday, 9 games on Sunday, and then the one Winter Classic game on Monday. So we'll go to all those games quickly here, and then we'll look at the game previews for the next couple of days and the standings as of right now. So we'll get to all that coming up right now. So first, let's start with the 9 games that happened on Saturday. There was a lot of really interesting games that happened on Saturday. We got kicked off by the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Minnesota Wild. That was a really interesting game, back and forth action. So the Winnipeg Jets come away with a huge 4-2 victory in the first of a home and home. They played again on Sunday morning. So that was a really good win there for the Jets to get the huge win. They continue to have a fantastic December month, and they beat up the Minnesota Wild. So a huge win there for the Jets. They improved 21-9-4. The Wild dropped to 16-14-4. So a really good win there for Winnipeg. Niederreiter scored twice, and both Iafallo and Fajalbi also scored for the Jets in the win, while for the Minnesota Wild, Hartman and Boldy were 2 goal scorers for the Wild in the loss. So not a great game there from the Wild, definitely hung around there for quite some time, and we were able to keep it an entertaining game, but it was the Jets who come away with the victory and remain one of the top teams in the Central Division. Then we saw the Buffalo Sabres take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Jackets were up 2-1 at the end of one. Sabres were able to find a game-tying goal in the third period, sent to overtime, where Jeff Skinner was able to get the OT winner, as the Buffalo Sabres were able to down the Columbus Blue Jackets 3-2 in overtime. So it was a very fantastic game there from the Buffalo Sabres. Much needed win there between two of the lower teams in the Eastern Conference. They improved to 15-18-4. Jackets dropped to 12-18-8. So a really good win there for the Buffalo Sabres. For Buffalo, Power had 2 assists, while Quinn, Skinner, who had the OT winner, and Milstead were 3 goal scorers in the win. While for the Jackets, Fantilli and Severson were 2 goal scorers in the loss. So once again, not a great game there. They do get a point out of this one, but they do blow another lead. So really bad stuff there for the Jackets. But Sabres find a way to get a win. Now they're only 3 games back of 500, so that's decent enough for the Buffalo Sabres. Then we saw the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the St. Louis Blues. Another really interesting game. The Penguins were able to start quick, start fast. They were able to build up a 3-1 lead and beat the St. Louis Blues 4-2. So it was a fantastic game there from those Pittsburgh Penguins to continue to find ways to win and are starting to climb back up the Metro Division standings. Well, the Blues now have yet another loss. Not great stuff there for St. Louis. Pittsburgh improves to 17-13-4, while the Blues drop to 18-17-1. So not great news there for St. Louis. For Pittsburgh, Malkin had a goal and an assist. Gensel had 2 assists, and O'Connor, Carter, and Crosby also scored for the Penguins in the win. Well, for the St. Louis Blues, Kapanen and Thomas were 2 goal scorers in the loss. So not a great game there from St. Louis. One they probably want to have back. That was a fantastic game, and they're now lost back-to-back games, so it's not great news for the St. Louis Blues, but Pittsburgh had a fantastic game, and they've now won, I think, a couple of games in a row, so really good stuff there for Pittsburgh. Then we saw the New Jersey Devils take a 2-1 lead over the Boston Bruins, but give up 4 unanswered goals to give the Boston Bruins a huge 5-2 victory over the New Jersey Devils. Really bad blown lead there for the New Jersey Devils. Boston was able to improve to 21-7-6, dropping New Jersey to 19-14-2. So not great news there for the Devils. They had a really good lead in this game, and they were not able to hold on, once again emphasizing the fact that they have a lot of goaltending and defensive issues this year. For the Boston Bruins, Pasternak had 3.0 with 2 goals and an assist. Shattenkirk scored twice. DeBrusk had a goal and an assist. And both Coyle and Marchand had 2 assists for the Bruins in the win. Well, Toffoli had 2 assists, and Hischier and Luke Hughes were 2 goal scorers for the Devils in the loss. So it was not a great game there from the Devils. One they would really like to hold on and win in a lot of situations, but it was a decent game. So really good stuff there for the New Jersey Devils. Then we saw the Florida Panthers absolutely dominate the Montreal Canadiens with a huge 4-2 victory over the Canadiens. Really good win there for the Florida Panthers. Florida with the 4-1 win improves to 22-12-2, dropping the Montreal Canadiens back down to 500 at 15-15-5. So that was a really good win there for Florida to continue to climb the Atlantic Division standings. Louis Sturainen scored twice. Bennett and Verhaeghe both had a goal and an assist. And Ekblad and Oliver Ekman-Larsson both had 2 assists in the win for the Florida Panthers. For the Montreal Canadiens, Cole Caulfield was a lone goal scorer. So not a great game there for Montreal. They continue to not do overly well. They're at 500 now, so really good stuff there for Montreal, but still a really bad blow for the Canadiens as they take another hit. But a really good win there for Florida as they continue to find ways to win. Then you saw New York Rangers come out and absolutely smack the Tampa Bay Lightning 5-1. It was a huge destroying game for the New York Rangers, including Artemi Panarin, who scored the first goal for the Rangers. The the 4th goal for Rangers, and this goal here, I remember all close to Credit Sportsnet, but the 5th goal for the Rangers as well, as he was able to get a hat trick in this game and help the Rangers down to Tampa Bay Lightning. So a very fantastic game from Panarin, a fantastic game from Trocheck, and the Rangers are still clicking on all cylinders. Rangers improved to 25-9-1. Bolts dropped down to 17-15-5. So not great stuff there for Tampa. Trocheck had 4 points with a goal and 3 assists. Panarin had a hat trick. Lafreniere had 2 assists, and Kreider also scored for Rangers in the win, while Kucherov was the lone goal scorer for the Tampa Bay Lightning in losses. They'd fall in this game. So not a bad game there from the Rangers. Definitely one that they really want to try and replicate. This was a fantastic win for them, but the Bolts do find a way to lose in this game. So not great stuff there from Tampa. Then we saw the Carolina Hurricanes wind up beating the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2. It was 2-1 late. Canes would get an empty net to make it 3-1. Leafs would get a very late goal to make it 3-2, but it was a little too late at that point. Canes do wind up coming away with the victory to improve to 20-13-4. They finally hit the 20-win mark, while the Leafs dropped down to 17-10-7. So not great news there. The Leafs are still falling a little bit at this point in time. For the Carolina Hurricanes, Aho had 3.8 with a goal and 2 assists. Svechnikov had 2 assists, and both Jarvis and Bunting also scored for the Carolina Hurricanes in the win. Well, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Liljegren had a goal and an assist. Domi had 2 assists, and Robertson also scored for the Leafs in the loss. So it wasn't a bad game there. Leafs definitely kept it interesting. It was really a close game between these two teams, but at the end it was the Carolina Hurricanes to come away with the victory, and it's a much needed win for Carolina as they keep pace in the Metro Division. Then we also saw the Nashville Predators blow a third period lead, but recover and beat the Washington Capitals in a shootout 3-2. So very good stuff there for the Nashville Predators to improve to 20-16-1 on the season, ending their 3-game losing streak. While the Capitals dropped to 17-11-6. So not great news there for the Capitals, who continue to fall a little bit, and I think are now out of the playoffs if I'm correct. For the Nashville Predators, Evangelista and Yossi scored the 2 regulation goals, while Nyquist and O'Reilly were the 2 shootout goal scorers for the Preds in the win. And Preds prospect goaltender Yaroslav Askarov got his first career NHL win in this game. So very good stuff there for Askarov. Meanwhile, for the Capitals, Malenstein and Ovechkin were 2 goal scorers for the Capitals in the loss. So not a great game there for Washington, one they probably want to have back. This was an interesting, close, winnable game. They thought they won it because of Alex Ovechkin, but it was called off. So not a great game there from the Washington Capitals. Definitely one they want to have back. This was an opportunity to get 2 points and only able to get 1, but still really good win there for Nashville to end their losing streak. And then we saw the Edmonton Oilers play the LA Kings. Kings were able to get up to a 2-0 lead, but blew it, and Edmonton wound up winning 3-2 in a shootout. So very good resiliency from Edmonton to get back up to 2 games above 500 at 17-15-1, while the LA Kings dropped down to 28-5. So not great stuff there from LA. McDavid had a goal and an assist. Draisaitl also scored in regulation, while McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Ryan also scored in the shootout for the Oilers. Meanwhile, for the LA Kings, Kempe had a goal and an assist. Fiala also scored in regulation, and Moore and Kempe were 2 goal scorers in the shootout loss for the LA Kings. So once again, not a great game there from the Kings, and one they probably want to have back, but still very fantastic win there for the Edmonton Oilers, who were able to get another huge 2 points against a really good Pacific Division team. So really good stuff there for the Edmonton Oilers. And then those are the 9 games that happened on Saturday. Going over to 9 games that happened on Sunday. We saw the second half of a home-and-home with the Winnipeg Jets and the Minnesota Wild. And in this one, it was the Winnipeg Jets who do wind up winning again. Jets are able to get a huge victory, this time 3-2, to improve to 22-9-4 to finish off the 2023 portion of the schedule, while the Minnesota Wild dropped to 16-15-4. So after a really good winning streak, the Wild are only back down to 1 game above 500. So not great stuff there for the Wild. Nemesnikov, Lowry, and Tornado were the 3 goal scorers for the Jets in the win, while for the Minnesota Wild, Gaudreau had a goal and an assist, and Foligno also scored in the loss. So not a great game there from the Wild. Definitely one that they should probably be able to win, so not a great game there, but Winnipeg is able to continue to do really, really well. They're one of the top teams in the Central Division and had an absolutely fantastic December month. So really good stuff there for the Winnipeg Jets. Then we saw the Boston Bruins take on the Detroit Red Wings. Interesting game. This game was 2-2 in the third period, but then Boston would sort of take over, break away in this game, and wound up beating the Detroit Red Wings 5-3. A huge victory for the Boston Bruins to improve to 22-7-6, dropping the Detroit Red Wings to 17-16-4. So not great news for the Red Wings, not only a game above 500, but the Bruins have now won a couple of games in a row, have been able to get a couple of really good third periods, and they look a lot better now. So really good stuff there for Boston, sort of turning things around right now. For Boston, Frederick, 2 goals and an assist, and McAvoy, 3 assists, both had 3-point nights. Pasternak and Lindholm both had 2 assists, and Coyle, Zacha, and DeBrusk also scored for the Bruins in the win. Well, for the Red Wings, Comfer, Sherratt, and Wallman were 3 goal scorers in the loss. So not great news there for the Red Wings. Definitely one they want to have back. They've already beaten the Boston Bruins a couple of times this year, so this was a winnable game for them, especially in the third period being a 2-2 game, but was the Bruins to come away with the victory. Then we saw the Ottawa Senators absolutely demolished the Buffalo Sabres 5-1 to end 2023 on a high note. Ottawa improves to 14-18-0 with a huge 5-1 victory over the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo drops down to 15-19-4. So not great news for Buffalo. They continue to drop in the standings, but really good win there for Ottawa, who finds themselves now only 4 games back of 500. For the Senators, Shabbat had 2 assists, and Zub, Chikrin, Kostelic, McEwen, and Kubalik were the 5 goal scorers for the Senators in the win. Well, for the Buffalo Sabres, Thompson was the lone goal scorer. So not a great game there from Buffalo. Both these teams really want to make the playoffs this year. Both these teams look like they're probably not going to make the playoffs this year. So that was a really interesting game, and it was the Senators who did come away with the victory, so really good stuff there. Then we saw the Pittsburgh Penguins for the second time this week down the New York Islanders. We saw them come away from the holiday break with a huge 7-0 victory over the Islanders. This time it was the Penguins beating the Islanders 3-0. So a very good win there for the Penguins to improve to 18-13-4. Well, the Islanders have now stumbled going into a new year, and they're dropping to 17-10-9. So really bad stuff there for the Islanders. Definitely not great stuff there. For the Penguins, Lars Eller scored twice, and Noel Chari also scored for the Penguins in the win, while Bolduc was the lone goal scorer for the Islanders in the loss. So not a great game there from the Islanders. One they probably want to have back. This was a winnable game against a really good Pittsburgh Penguins team, but they lose, and now teams like Carolina, New Jersey, and Pittsburgh are all gaining on the New York Islanders, which isn't good news. So it'll be interesting to see there. Then we saw the Montreal Canadiens blow a 2-0 lead and lose 4-3 to Tampa Bay Lightning. Not a great game there from the Canadiens, who dropped down to under 500 again at 15-16-5. Well, the Bolts with a huge win improved to 18-15-5. So really good win there for Bolts. A much needed win there, so they are able to climb the standings. For the Lightning, Kucherov had a goal and an assist. Hedman had 2 assists, and Point, DeHaan, first as a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Watson also scored for the Lightning in the win. Well, for the Canadiens, Kovacevic, Caulfield, and Suzuki were the 3 goal scorers in the loss. So not a great game there for Montreal. One they probably want to have back, but still, it was a really interesting game, really tight contested affair. And was the Bolts to come away with a narrow victory, so really good stuff there for Tampa. Then we saw a handful of games play at 5 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday a couple days ago. First, the Edmonton Oilers were able to absolutely destroy the Anaheim Ducks 7-2, reminiscent of the 8-2 game that Edmonton beat them a couple of months ago. Edmonton was absolutely on fire in this game, improved to 18-15-1. Ducks dropped down to 13-23-0. So not a great game there from Anaheim. For the Oilers, Warren Foegele had an impressive 5-point night, including scoring this goal here, which was the 5th of the game for the Edmonton Oilers. So a very fantastic game. He scored the 4th and the 5th goal of the game for the Edmonton Oilers and had 2 goals, 3 assists, a 5-point performance from Warren Foegele. So he was a very fantastic beast in this game. Draisaitl had 3.0 with a goal and 2 assists. McLeod had a goal and an assist. Nurse had 2 assists, and Kulak, Kane, and Hyman also scored for the Oilers in the win, while Jones and Vetrano were the 2 goal scorers for the Ducks in the loss. So definitely not a great game there from the Ducks, once again finding ways to lose, but it was a really good game there from the Edmonton Oilers, who were able to climb the standings even more and are closing in on wildcard spots. So really good stuff there for Edmonton. Then we saw the Colorado Avalanche narrowly escape with a 3-1 victory over the San Jose Sharks. It was really interesting, close contested affair late until the game, but the Avalanche were able to pull ahead in the third and wind up getting the huge victory to improve to 23-11-3, dropping the San Jose Sharks to 9-25-3. So not a great game there from the Sharks, but it was an interesting, close game. Nichushkin had a goal and an assist. McKinnon had 2 assists, and both Rannon and Manson also scored for the Avalanche in the win. While for the San Jose Sharks, Hurdle was a lone goal scorer in the loss. So not a great game there from the Sharks, the one they probably want to have back, but losing that close to a really good team is really good for the San Jose Sharks. So good stuff there. Then we saw the Calgary Flames wind up beating the Philadelphia Flyers narrowly. They were able to take a good third period lead and held on for a 4-3 victory to improve to 15-16-5. Well, they dropped the Flyers down to 19-12-5, so not a great start there for the Philadelphia Flyers to finish up the new year, but still they have a really good record. For the Flames, Mangiapane had 3 assists, Gilbert and Coleman had a goal and an assist, and Backlund and Kadri also scored for the Calgary Flames in the win, while Konechny had 2 assists, and Brink, Samuel, and Ristolainen were the 3 goal scorers in the loss. So not a great game there from the Philadelphia Flyers, one they probably want to have back as this was a winnable game, but still interesting game, and the Flames were able to come away with a victory. And then we saw the Dallas Stars absolutely obliterate the Chicago Blackhawks 8-1. It wasn't like they were even on the same playing field. Dallas was able to improve to 22-9-4, dropping the Blackhawks to 11-23-2. So once again, not a great game there from the Blackhawks. So quite an embarrassing night for them. Marchand had a hat trick and a 4-point night with 3 goals and 8 assists. Sagan had a 3-point night with a goal and 2 assists. Steele had a goal and 8 assists. Robertson, Haskin, and Duchesne and Lundqvist all had 2 assists. And Suter, Hintz, and Smith also scored for the Stars in the win. While for the Blackhawks, Kurashev was a lone goal scorer. So the Blackhawks got a fantastic goal from Kurashev. Really good play. Besides that, this was all Dallas all the time, and this was really a dominant performance from the Stars. So really good win there for Dallas, who continues to climb the Central Division standings. And then yesterday we had 1 game of NHL action. Those were the 9 games that happened on Sunday. But yesterday we saw 1 game, and that was the Winter Classic. The 2024 Winter Classic saw the Seattle Kraken faced the Vegas Golden Knights. Really interesting game, and it will end up being the Seattle Kraken to come away with the victory. They were able to get a first period goal from Eli Tolvanen. This goal here in the second period from Will Borgen that extended their lead to 2-0. Then they also got a third period goal to make it 3-0 from Yanni Gourde, and they would become the first team to ever show an opponent in a Winter Classic game, as Joey Decord was absolutely fantastic in this game, shutting out the Vegas Golden Knights, as the Kraken would wind up winning this game 3-0. Kraken would extend their point streak to 9 games. They're 7-0-2 in their last 9 games, and the Knights would drop down to 22-11-5, while the Kraken, with that 9-game point streak now, have improved to 15-14-9, and they're really on a heater right now. So really good stuff there for Seattle Kraken. For Seattle, Tolvanen had a goal and 8 assists, and Gordon Borgen also scored, while Decord stopped all 35 shots he faced in the shutout. Like we said, first in Winter Classic history, and the win for the Seattle Kraken. Well, the Golden Knights with the loss, like we said, dropped to 22-11-5. Couldn't find anything on net in this game, and it was a really poor game there from the Vegas Golden Knights offensively, who continue to fall a little bit as of late. So not great stuff there from the Vegas Golden Knights, but still really interesting game for the Kraken as they were able to shut out the Golden Knights. So those are the games from the past couple of days. We had 9 games on Saturday, 9 on Sunday, and this Winter Classic game that happened yesterday. So really interesting games there. Going over to a quick game preview here for the next couple of days. We have 13 games happening later today, with 2 games happening on Wednesday. So we'll get to the 13 games that happen later today first. At 4 p.m. Pacific time, we have the Bruins take on the Jackets. Third time these two teams have played. Both teams have won 1 game. Jackets looking to get closer and closer to 500. Bruins looking to keep this winning streak of theirs going right now, so it'll be interesting to see who wins there. Huge game here between the Carolina Hurricanes and New York Rangers. Canes looking to continue to climb the Metro standings. Rangers looking to put some more distance between them and some of the other Metro Division teams, so that'll be an interesting game. At 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, the Penguins take on the Capitals. Penguins are rolling right now. I think they've won 3 or 4 in a row. They look to down the Capitals, who are sort of struggling a little bit, still can't find scoring, so that'll be an interesting game. At 5 p.m. Pacific time, we have the Montreal Canadiens take on the Dallas Stars. Canadiens looking to get back up to 500. Stars looking to keep pace with the Avalanche and the Jets in the race for top of the Central Division. Flames take on the Wild at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Wild looking to avoid going back down to 500. Flames looking to try and go back up to 500, so that'll be an interesting game. At 5 p.m. Pacific time, the Preds take on the Blackhawks. Preds looking to keep in the playoff spots. Hawks looking to try and end this losing streak of theirs, so that'll be an interesting game. Also at 5 p.m. Pacific time, we have the Jets take on the Bolts. Jets looking to keep their success from December going on in January as we've hit the new year. Tampa looks to try and keep ahead of the 500 mark, so that'll be an interesting game. At 6 p.m. Pacific time, Flyers take on the Oilers, Panthers take on Coyotes, and Avs take on Islanders. Avs will be looking for a huge win to keep pace in the Central. Islanders looking to keep ahead of some of these other teams in the Metro. Panthers looking to keep pace with the Boston Bruins for top spot in the Atlantic. Arizona's looking to keep ahead of other teams for a wildcard position. Philadelphia is looking to keep pace with some of the Metro Division teams. They're on an Oilers team who's really desperate in need of a win to try and keep their winning streak going and improve their record to get closer to the wildcard position. Then at 7 p.m. Pacific time, the Canucks take on the Senators. An interesting game. Sens looking to try and get to within 3 wins of 500. Canucks looking to become the first Pacific Division team to hit the 50-point plateau. At 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, the Kings take on the Maple Leafs. Leafs needing a win here. That will really help them a lot. Take on a Kings team who could really try and get a win here, try and close the gap between them and the Vegas Golden Knights and Vancouver Canucks. And then at 7:30, the Detroit Red Wings take on the San Jose Sharks. Sharks looking to get a huge win there. They finally hit the double-digit win mark and look to end this losing streak of theirs. Red Wings looking to try and avoid going back down to 500. So that'll be interesting games there today. And then there are 2 games tomorrow on Wednesday. Just a few. 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, we have the Capitals take on the Devils. Caps looking to possibly win a couple of back-to-back games against Metro Division teams. Devils looking for a huge win to sort of go back up in the Metro Division standings. And at 6 p.m. Pacific time, the at Leafs take on the Ducks. Leafs looking for back-to-back wins against California teams. Ducks looking to try and end this losing streak of theirs and win their 14th of the year. So it'll be interesting to see how those games go. But those are your game previews for the next couple of days. Going over to a look at the quick standings as of the new year, January 2nd, 2024. So now the calendar flipped to a new year. Looking at the standings here, the Boston Bruins have hit 50 points. They lead the Atlantic Division, followed by 46-point Florida and 41-point Toronto. 51-point New York Rangers are first in the Metro, followed by 44-point Carolina and 43-point Philadelphia. 43-point New York Islanders and 41-point Tampa are the two wildcard teams, and they're followed by 40-point Washington, 40-point Jersey, 40-point Pittsburgh, 38-point Detroit, 35-point Montreal, 34-point Buffalo, 32-point Columbus, and 28-point Ottawa. And those are teams who are currently out of the playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. And then going over to the West, in the Central Division, you have 49-point Colorado leading the Central, followed by 48-point Winnipeg and 48-point Dallas. You have 49-point Vancouver leading the Pacific, followed by 49-point Vegas and 45-point LA. 41-point Nashville is first wildcard, followed by 40-point Arizona, who's in second wildcard, and 39-point Seattle, 37-point Edmonton, 37-point St. Louis, 36-point Minnesota, 35-point Calgary, 26-point Anaheim, 24-point Chicago, and 21-point San Jose are all on the outside looking in. And those are your standings as of the 2nd of January, 2024. So it'll be interesting to see. But those are your standings as of right now. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this down in the comment section below. Which games would you like over the past couple of days? Was there any games on Saturday that interested you? Any games on Sunday? Did you guys like the Winter Classic yesterday? Definitely let me know down in the comments. Which games are you most looking forward to over the next couple of days? Leafs playing the California teams, Capitals playing the Devils, the Penguins, Rangers, Canes is going to happen later today. Bolts taking on the Jets. Definitely, there's a lot of interesting games. Is there any that really interest you? And what do you think about the wildcard standings? Are you surprised that the Oilers and Kraken are not too far of a playoff spot now? Are you surprised Arizona is still in a playoff spot? Are you surprised Vancouver, Vegas, Colorado are all tied for top spots in the Western Conference? Are you surprised that the Rangers continue to lead the Eastern Conference? Are you surprised that the Carolina Hurricanes now back up to second in the Metro? Are you surprised that the Flyers and Isles still find ways in the playoffs? Definitely. That's your guys' thoughts on all of those standings updates down in the comment section below. That's all we're going to talk about for today. Remember to like this video, and if you really liked it, remember to subscribe down below. We have hit 200 subscribers. Thank you for all of your support. I would never been able to with all of you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. I also have a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So if you check that out, I'll leave a link down in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all from our next video. Remember, Happy New Year as we've now hit 2024. See you guys soon.